Hey guys, Warhammer40K support here. Today we're going to talk about the basics of starting Warhammer 40K, of course, as a first video. And the first thing every new player needs is a Warhammer 40K rulebook. Not every person needs one. If you have a group of friends that you play with or anything, if you go play it at workshop, they can have a copy. You don't have to buy one. However, if you're starting a group to do it, I would recommend getting one or someone else getting one. It's pretty much it is actually mandatory to have a rulebook. In the rulebook, you'll have your different sections of background information, your stats, all of your things. To find most of the stats very easily, turn to the back of your book to page 424. Here I have my tab that keeps my place saved. And this is the game summary that tells you basic information of where to locate things within the book, unit distance, types, all of your basic stuff. There, however, is one set of information here that is not given that I believe they should introduce in 7th edition rulebook. And in the back, there is no building damage chart. You do have a vehicle damage chart, which is right here on this page, but there is no building damage chart. Aside from all this, the rulebook has an index, of course, like every book, that tells you where to find everything possible. The rulebook also comes with a small getting started painting guide. It's nothing much at most. It could be better. For 6th edition rulebooks are all out. They're all hardcover. You can buy some with 3 tabs if you wish. Those I would not recommend though. I would just get the standard little one. In the rulebook also comes a set of game modes and deployment stats and all to determine how your game should be played. Most games are standard 1500 points, and all the books are based around that set of points. If you change how many points there are in a game, make it fair, okay? Just don't make it too unfair. You can change a bit of the rules, and that's about it. The rulebook also gives you steps on how to play or how to get the game started. It gives you orders, the objectives, all of that. Moving on to the next bit of information that you would need for your army is a codex. Every army in the game has a codex. Codex are the detailed information about your army. And each codex, of course, has all of its units and a little bit background information. Most codexes now are still updating to 6th edition. Space Marine 6th edition recently came out. I have yet to go purchase such. In the codex, in the back is the best place to go, again, because it gives you all the war gear special rules for each one that you can go in turn, look in your rulebook at the special rules. In the codex, it gives you certain armies about their paint colors and all, and that can help whenever you're painting. The codex, though, doesn't have much other than just your unit tactics. Now, if a unit has a unique special rule, yes, it will be in the codex. You do not have to try and fight to figure out what it is. But in order to play, you need a codex for yourself. Unless you have a friend that has the same codex that you could borrow. Then yes, you can use his. But I recommend every person get their own codex for their own army. Next, the items that you use whenever you play are templates, as I am laying out now. Then you have your bundle of die. I'd never counted how many there are. And for a lot of games, you have victory objectives or points. So I personally use a separate set of die for my victory points. Now I'm going to go into detail about what each one is. Okay, let's start with our templates first. This is a small blast template. These are used for your grenades and all other small blast weapons. You don't use this template very often. Now you have your flamer template. These are used for all flamer based weapons. Flamers, incinerators, heavy flamers, dual flamers, all kinds of flamers, no matter what army. This is used specifically for this, nothing else. Moving on, then you have your large blast template. This is your most commonly used blast template for artillery or any of your army's specified special attacks. Say Space Marines have the orbital laser. This is used for such. Now, your dice, here's something unique about the dice. You have a standard 6-sided die. I'm not going to count them. Again, that's unrealistic. And then you have 2 unique die. You have your scatter die, which, if you can see, is the die with the little arrow right there. It's right there in that middle 6. It's got 4 sets of arrows and 2 crosshairs. The crosshairs mean direct hit, and if you roll that, then you do not scatter. If you scatter, we'll go into more details about that in a later video. And then you have a weird die that I have yet to figure out what it is. It is an exclamation point, goes up to by 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 10 with a decimal. Me and all of my friends have yet to figure that out. Whenever I find out, I will bring information to you later. And then, of course, your victory point die are just, I have standard 6-sided die in here. I mean, they're just used to mark. They're nothing special. Moving on, so most people that begin playing Warhammer are not going to have a lot of money and have models. So I recommend 2 things. I recommend a notebook with a lot of paper and a pencil or pen, and then quarters. All of your models are either going to be cut out by paper, or they're going to have a 25mm base, which is the size of a quarter. As you can see, I have a bag of quarters for any necessary purpose. The paper would be used to write out what the unit is for the quarters, how many there are, what they have on them, war gear wise. Also, the paper could be used for vehicles, which in turn you would write on the paper what it is, what it has. And I would not recommend writing the stats. The stats could be found in your codex, or for more basic troops in the rulebook itself. That is all I can think of for you to need to start Warhammer. Again, we'll go into more details about the books in general. I'll have an episode set aside for each one. This is Warhammer40K Sport. I have nothing else to say. Have a good day, and subscribe and check out my Facebook channel at Facebook/Warhammer40K Support. Signing off.